We're just gathering up. We're going to start promptly at 8:30. Casper is under my feet over here. I'm going to pick him up at 8:30. We'll say hi. Okay, Casper boy, come here. Casper, come here. Come here. Oh, you're such a big boy. Oh, my goodness. You don't understand that. Oh my goodness. Oh, he is 70 pounds. There's Mountain over here. You see Mountain down here? I got two. I can't pick him up. This is 7 months old. He'll be 7 months old in about 10 days. Well, we're about ready. We got our coffee. We got our dogs. We got our Casper. There's a good boy. Here's a good boy dog. Okay. Okay. You say hi to everybody? You say hi to everybody? Well, hello. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning from Southern California. We're glad you're with us today on Coffee with Casper. Casper's over here, and Mountain's over here, and hopefully they don't all start growling and roughhousing too loud. So, how you all doing? Here we're in Los Angeles County, so we're not quite, well, greetings from Africa, from Uganda. How wonderful. And Hawaii is in the house. All kinds of people coming over. Nice to see you. So make sure, a couple of things, you know, we don't actually start. So if you go to the website before 8:30, I try to get there about 8:28, just so we can warm in. And so tell everybody there's nothing there until 8:30. And of course, one of the great things you can do if you find something beneficial from our time together this morning is share this link to everybody. And it's obviously an offering out into the world. We've got Chicago in the house. We got Palm Springs in the house. We got Long Island in the house. How nice to see everybody. So here in Los Angeles County, we are still not quite opening up, a little bit of opening up, sort of weird curbside stuff, but nothing normal, that what we used to call normal. And a new normal will emerge. And the key is that we need to find ourselves comfortable in our own skin, in our own time, even as we're going through something that we in our lifetimes have never experienced before. The good news is that humanity will come out on top, and as we talked about before, you have to see through the mist into the eternal and changeless reality, and we have to anchor ourselves in the infinite. So today I'm going to talk about anchoring yourselves in the infinite. That's a great quote. Anchor yourselves on the infinite, because on that you can rely. And that's really what we're trying to get to, that we find that place within ourselves where we're comfortable in our own skin and we have faith. The biblical Moses spoke of underneath there are underlying arms. And that's what we're wanting to be able to walk with out in the world, that we are walking in a connection with the infinite, in a connection with that which we know is intelligent, that which is harmonious, that which is peace, that which is joy, that which is the giver of all life, love, and beauty. We need to find ourselves anchored there. And so, Henry David Thoreau said, you've built your castles in the clouds, that's where they should be. And now put foundations underneath them. So what we're talking about here is a foundation of who you are. We talked about this several times. I am an immortal spiritual being, superior to my mind, to my body, and to my experience. And to get to know, to become in relationship with that aspect of ourselves. So you can see already the sun is hitting, moving around. Boy, the seasons change, and I'm running out of space behind me. I'm going to have to set this up differently. I just love being outside with you here, and I know some of you are in some beautiful spots all around the globe, so we're glad for that. So somebody texted me not too long ago, and they just asked, how are you doing? It was just like, big question, how are you doing? And I didn't quite know how to respond. And so I thought about how am I doing, or how would I answer that question in a straightforward way. And so this is what I said. I said, well, daily we meditate. Daily we visualize desired outcomes. Daily we practice gratitude, often in affirmative prayer, meaning I'm spending a lot of my time often in affirmative prayer. Affirmative prayer is a prayer where we are not asking the universe if things are going to be okay. We're identifying ourselves with our creative capacity, with the capacity that we have to co-create, to work with the infinite, to leverage the infinite in our advantage, so that we know that we are guided, guarded, protected, directed, and led into the paths of perfect right action. No one lives just for themselves. We all live for ourselves, yes, and for everybody who touches our experience. And so who we are is making a difference in somebody's lives all the time. And so if we can find a daily practice, a way of living, and of course that's what we're all working on, finding ourselves in a daily practice or a daily way of living where we're in tune with the infinite. People are waving, and thank you for your hearts and the waves. That's very sweet of you. I appreciate that. So let's talk about how do we get that foundation underneath us? How do we begin to live? You know, we call it a practice, a spiritual practice. And a spiritual practice becomes much like a hygienic practice. I mean, we've learned how to wash our hands more frequently. We've learned how to wash our hands more thoroughly. We've learned to be mindful of where we're touching and what we're doing. And that's because something is changing in the world. And we are becoming more mindful of who we are and what we are and how we are being in the world. So this daily practice, so daily we meditate. Let's start with that one. And that's a big one. A lot of folks are not regular meditators. It's difficult to teach someone how to meditate. We have guided meditations, and they're available. I have one at newthought.com. They're available. But meditation is more than just the guided meditation. And as Deepak Chopra says, that the meditation is not the mantra or not what you're doing with your thought. It's the gap between the thoughts. That the way I describe it is we are like this. If we are this thing, and we are the infinite. You see that we are the infinite? So the infinite looks like this. Now, it's bigger than us. The infinite is bigger than us, but we're the same shape. So basically, meditation is when we allow ourselves to be upheld, to be wrapped by the infinite, beyond thought, to the place where everything is still and peace. Jesus spoke of that in the Bible, as a peace that passes understanding. Something transcendental. We talked about that last week. Something in another dimension, another way of being. So we learn to quiet the mind. Now, however you do that, it needs to happen on a regular basis. Very often, for those that I was initiated 40 years ago, something like that, in TM. Now, that's a mantra meditation. I still practice a mantra meditation. I use a different mantra than the one I was initiated in all those years ago. And it took me probably 20 years to develop into a daily practice where I still for 15 or 20 minutes. And that's an important thing, that you can still yourself and still your mind. And touching things on the phone. There we go. And become familiar with that place where we're not chasing all of those monkey mind thoughts, where they're spinning around, they're filled with doubt and fear and worry, but we become still. So just for this moment, now that we're all together, let's take a deep breath. Try to get it into your belly, and now let that rise up into your heart center. And then we see we're touching a deeper wellspring by that daily we meditate. Now the other real powerful gift that we have is this capacity to use our imagination. So, and that's, when we decide to be creative and to jump into that realm called imagination, that takes focus. And so when we talk about visualizing, we're talking about visualizing desired outcomes. How do you want it to be? So for example, I'm visualizing all of the kids and the grandkids and the family all together in a beautiful vacation resort. And I'm seeing that happening, and I'm seeing the grandbabies laughing and playing and swimming and jumping and doing, picnicking and all the things that we like to do. So I begin to visualize those things. I begin to see them in my mind's eye, right? And that's how we do that every day. Where do you want to be as the doors open up? How are you going to do your shopping? How are you going to do, what kind of clothes are you going to wear? How are you going to look? How are you going to be in the world? To see yourself there. Begin to take 5 minutes. If you just take 5 minutes a day and visualize the outcomes that you would like. How would you like your life to be? How would you like your home to be? How would you like your transportation to be? How would you like your commutes to be? How would you like your life to be? 5 minutes a day, visualizing the best thing that you can, visualizing the best outcomes for whatever it is you're thinking about. So we stop worrying and we begin to engage imagination in terms of the outcomes that we want. Because the universe is not really, of course, every thought you think, every prayer you pray, everything is happening in the one. There's only one life. That life is happening everywhere, through you, through me, through everything animate and everything supposedly inanimate. Everything is vibrating with the life force at some level. So everything is known, but it's the sum total of what's happening that the universe is responding to. So the sum total of what we call our intentions. So if we're taking time to visualize every day desired outcomes, then our intentions are becoming known. And it's focus. It's 5 minutes of focus. You say, well, it takes time to focus the mind and to be still. It takes time. We need to do that. We need to focus the mind to meditate, to be still. We need to see the outcomes that we'd like. We need to see ourselves having fun. I love to boat, so I see myself boating with my family and friends. We will go through the storm. On the other side of the storm, there will be life, and there should be more life. Life and more life. Good and more good. Love and more love. Joy and more joy. So daily we meditate. Daily we visualize. And if you're not practicing these things, we begin. We do the best we can. A few minutes, a few beats. But 5 minutes of visualizing a day. So that, again, you're looking to be still for 15 or 20 minutes. You want to visualize. That's different than being still. For just 5 minutes, get those desired outcomes in place. And of course, daily we practice gratitude, yeah? But it's so important to greet the day, to know that this is the day the law of life has brought, and I'm grateful for it. It's filled with potential. There's a good possibility happening everywhere in my world, and we begin to work with gratitude, just for the fact that I have the breath of life in me, just for the fact that right now I am healthy and strong and safe, and that we're learning how to stretch our world out on the other side of the pandemic, knowing that our immune system is radiant, vibrant, dynamic health, that we see these are all positivities, right? That's kind of a new word that's in the world, positivity. There was a group a long time, still exists, I think, called the Optimist Club. But positivity means I'm not looking, it's the old line, right? Is the glass half empty or half full? The glass is always half full. I got half a glass left, and there's more water, more beverage to come. There's more waters to be immersed in. There's more good coming my way. We have to practice being grateful for that's there. I mean, today is a beautiful day. I can feel the fresh air cool at this moment, blowing on me. I notice the beautiful trees all around me. I'm aware of the presence of nature. I'm aware of the puppy dog to my left, of the big dog to my right. I'm aware of these beautiful things. I'm aware of my beautiful bride who's sleeping in the other room, because she's not, she can watch Coffee with Casper anytime, as you can play it anytime you want. But these are just thoughts and ideas that put the foundation of a walk with the infinite, of being in tune with the infinite, that our life is coming from the infinite, and it's good, and it's very good. God looked upon its creation and said it's good. He didn't just say it's good, he said it's very good. So this life that you have is good and very good, and we need to be practicing in that gratitude on a daily basis, often, right? Now, the other thing I say is, and daily we live in affirmative prayer. Now, the way I do affirmative prayer, and many have learned these practices, is I recognize there is only the one life. That life is the life of God, the life of spirit, the life of source, the life of the one, the life of energy, the life. It doesn't matter what you call it. It's there, and it's in you and as you and through you and around you, and we begin to cultivate a relationship, indeed a faith in that life that is good and very good. So that good and more good is coming to us because we're expecting it. Because my intentions in my visualizations are expecting this greater good. Good and more good is mine. There's no limit to the good that's mine. Everywhere I look, I see this good. I feel it, but you have to see it and you have to feel it. And then you have to express gratitude for it. And then allow it to move through you so that you become a place where it's multiplying itself around you. Good and more good is mine. There's no limit to that good. And there is no limit to the good. In an infinite universe, if there's good in the universe and the universe is infinite, there must be infinite good. And there's no benefit of you letting that good be outside of yourself. The benefit is allowing that good to be in your experience and in your mind and in your heart. Yeah? So we begin to walk in this gratitude. And affirmative prayer means I have somebody to talk to. I go shopping for the family in this situation where we have to wear masks in the market and you have to have your list, and it's probably not so good to have your cell phone in the market, better to have paper in the market, and I have to remember where I am, and often I'm finding myself, well, where is that? I know that, and it sounds like I'm talking to myself. But it's a self. Yes, I am talking to myself, but I'm talking to that larger part of myself. That's continually in affirmative prayer. Always looking for the beloved, always looking for the joy of life, always looking for the qualities of spirit that you believe in. Do you believe in joy? Do you believe in love? Do you believe in peace? Do you believe in harmony? Do you believe in freedom? Right? All of these things, we put our attention on them. And we notice them, and we practice them, and we begin to share with the living presence, this presence that is within and around you, yes? We're born to have fun living, to constantly commune with the presence that is within and around us. And this is what I'm saying, this foundation underneath us is coming from this communion, and once we get it, there's a sense of peace. It doesn't mean that we won't have occasional bouts with fear or doubt, but we get this practice that has us always looking beyond the fear and doubt, always knowing that there's a peace, a presence, a life, a joy, a freedom. Right here, if I look for it, if I can see through the circumstance into the reality that I am always walking in and as and with this presence, but I am working in an affirmative way to cultivate that relationship, to practice in that relationship. And then this always practicing positivity. Who do you like to hang out with? People who are a bummer, or people who are always pessimistic, or people who are looking at the good, who are trying to find the good in every situation? If you keep looking to find the good, you will find it. If you're convinced it's not there, you'll never see it. If you tell yourself it's not there, it won't reveal itself. We have to look for it. I have a friend who is in the restaurant business, and he's not happy. He's not happy with the way the business is going. He's not happy with the circumstances. He's not happy with the regulations that are imposed on him. And when I've stopped in to support the business, he goes, "Oh, God." I said, "Well, every day it's getting better." He said, "Oh, God, it couldn't get any worse." Well, you see, if you're practicing God, it couldn't get any worse, then that's what you're looking for, right? And if you're practicing things are getting better every day, then that's what you're looking for. That's what positivity is. You practice it. Now, the other thing that you can't do is there's no switch for this thing. It's not like one day it's here and one day it's gone. It's not a switch. It's a movement of life. It's a readjusting the entire immune system, not only of ourselves, but of all humanity. And so we take it one day at a time. How are you going to be today? How's your life going to be today? Where's your intention today? How's your attitude today? One day at a time. Today, I'm eating well. Today, I have good food planned. Today, there are supplies for me in the market. Today, I have the money to buy the supplies. We have to begin to take it one day at a time. So these are just ideas. So here we go. Let me remind you again. Daily we meditate. Daily we visualize desired outcomes. Daily we practice gratitude. And often we find ourselves in affirmative prayer, in a communion with the infinite, so that we don't feel lonely, but we feel that we're developing and cultivating a relationship, which is the relationship I will always have. It's the relationship I will always have with the infinite. I am cultivating that relationship, and I am establishing the level at which it exists. The way that I am treating the living spirit is the way the living spirit is treating me. Yes? So daily we practice, and daily we practice positivity, and daily we realize it's just today. Tomorrow will take care of itself. It will reveal itself by means of this inspiration that moves through you one day at a time. My friends, it's my honor and privilege to be with you, to share in these Tuesday mornings as we see the change, the seasons changing, the sun moving. We'll reposition the camera so I don't have to keep chasing it all around. But it's been my honor to be with you. It's almost my honor to be with you. You are the light of the world. Allow that light to be in you and as you and through you. Feel it, be with it, practice it, and this storm will end. And your new normal will be richer and more wonderful and more beautiful and more loving, because you'll be more attentive to it. Who you are is a light worker in the world. What you do makes a big difference. Who we are together is changing the possibility for humanity and revealing a world that can work for everybody. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better, and so are you. I'll be with you next week on Coffee with Casper. Bye for now.